This is an activity to demonstrate what happens when we multiply two complex numbers. So if we start off with two complex numbers, a which is a plus bi and b which is c plus di, and if we multiply those, we need to multiply out the brackets and we get this, and then if we simplify that we get the real part and the imaginary part. Now if we put those onto an autograph page, I've set it up with graph paper as the background and I've put in the point 0, 0 which is selected. So if I now right click or go to object and choose vector, I'm going to enter my complex numbers as vectors. So my first one, a, is a and b in the vertical or the imaginary part. I deselect and then select the end point, and if I go to text box, convert that to static text and change it to A. And I'm just going to edit my frame and check that I've got no border and 100% transparent. I'm going to do the same with my complex number B. So if I go to another page where I've already put that on, so I've got A and B labelled, and I'm now going to put in the product. So if I select 0, 0, right click or object and select vector. This time my horizontal part or my real part is AC minus BD and my imaginary part is AD plus CB. If I deselect and then select the end point, if I right click or go to text box, convert that to static text again, and I'm going to label that as A dot B. So I've got my 3 points in now, and what might be useful is to put the argument in. So I need an extra point there along the x-axis. I'm going to put in the point 1, 0. And for my argument for A, I need to select the 3 points in order, so this one, then this one, and this one. And if I go to object or right click and select angle, I'm going to allow the reflex angle and OK. So I'm going to deselect and then select that angle, and then text box, I'm going to change the word angle to argument, and it's for complex number A. So I've now labelled that. That might get a bit confusing here with all the 3 labels, so I'm going to take this label out. So if I deselect everything, select that angle here, and then if I right click or go to object, I can hide objects. So that's taken away the label here, so it looks a bit neater. Now the other thing I might want to do is to put in the modulus. So if I select the 2 endpoints for A, and I need to put in a line segment, and I want to select my line segment. So I'm just going to view the status box, and if I click here, we can see that I've actually selected the vector. What I want is the line segment, so if I select it again, I've now selected the distance. So while that's selected, I'm going to go to text box, change my word distance to modulus, and that's for A, and then OK. So I've now labelled my modulus and my argument, and I can do that for all 3 points for A and for the product. So if I go to my other page where I've set all of that up, you can see that I've labelled the points, and then I can use my constant controller to change the values of A, B, C and D. And then I can investigate what happens to the modulus and the argument of the product. I'm just going to go back to my previous page, which was here, and I've got my argument labelled as 3 significant. Oh, I've got my argument labelled here as 0.588, and if I go to page and edit settings, you can see that it's actually labelled as 4 significant figures. So if I change that down to 3 significant figures and then OK, it converts it into radian form, in pi radian form, which is a little bit neater than decimals.